You have to know that truth is what it is. We cannot conceptualize it with our human awareness. We cannot order it. We cannot manipulate it. We cannot organize it. It is what it is, has been and will be. And what is the truth? Truth is that we are surrounded, or we are penetrated, or we are nourished, looked after and loved by a very subtle energy, which is the energy of divine love. The second truth is that we are not this body, this mind, these conditionings, this ego, but we are the spirit. You don't have to accept what I am saying blindly, because blind faith leads to fanaticism. But as scientists, you must keep your mind open and see for yourself what I am saying. If it is so, honestly, you must accept it. We know so much through science about our civilization, our advancement. This is the advancement of a tree which has grown outside very much. But if we do not know our roots, we will be destroyed. So it is important to know about our roots. And this is what it is that I would say are our roots. As you can see, there are 7 centers within us. And these subtle centers are placed in the spinal cord and in the brain. These cater to our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs. On the physical side, they manifest the energy for the use of our plexuses, which look after our physical problems. That is on the right side. The energy which is supplied by this yellow line, a subtle channel, we call it as the Pingala Nadi. This supplies energy for our physical and mental actions. So this is the power of action within us, which also caters to the right sympathetic nervous system. The another channel you see on the left hand side is the channel by which we desire, put our energy to our desire. So this is the power of desire and looks after our emotions. This is the one which looks after our conditionings also. At the end of these 2 channels, they create 2 institutions. One on the right side crosses over, and the yellow balloon that you see is the ego, is the balloon of ego that we have. And the left-hand side one, which conditions our mind, is the balloon of superego. As we start growing in age, by the time we are 12 years of age, these two completely meet and the soft bone in our head becomes completely calcified. Now there's third energy within us, which is in the center. And this central energy is the one which has made us human beings. And these centers are the milestones of our evolution. So now the last jumping is left out. It has reached up to the limbic area. Now, only thing is it has to break through the soft bone on the head and break through that, which is the actualization of baptism. Baptism is not an artificial thing. It is an actualization. But the energy that does it is, we call it sleeping energy, in the triangular bone called as sacrum. That means the Greeks knew that this is a sacred bone, that they called it sacrum. This energy has to rise and break through that fontanelle bone area and connect us to that subtle divine power which we have never felt during human awareness. Thus, we get connected to this divine power and we start feeling it on our fingertips. It's described in the Quran that at the time of resurrection, your hands will speak and they will give witness against you. That is, you start feeling your own centers. These are 5, 6 and 7 centers, and they indicate what's wrong with you within yourself. What's the problem? Also, you can feel the cool breeze coming out of your head. Cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. Because this sleeping power, which is called as the Kundalini, Kundala means coils, is the power of pure desire within us. So now we have this kind of a mechanism within us existing. Now this is a living process of evolution. And we must understand that we don't pay for living process and we can't even explain it. Because when you take a small little seed and put it in the Mother Earth, it germinates by itself, spontaneously. You don't pay to the Mother Earth anything. And when it germinates, it grows into a tree and produces thousands of seeds. So in that little seed, the map of all the things it was going to create is there. How it works? We never ask this question. We take all the things for granted. We don't even ask the question how this wonderful eye of ours is made like a camera. And that how we are programmed within ourselves like computers. You see, this is the color. You don't have to think about it, it's there. Through our sensory organs, how we find out things, we never question it. But to answer Now, all our questions, we have to become the divine computer. And that's why we have to be connected to the mains, I call them, as the people who are self-realized, the people who have got their spirit in their attention. When the attention is enlightened through this happening, then you can see the absolute truth. Like supposing you are holding on to a snake, and there's darkness, and somebody tells there is darkness. But you have got a snake in your hand. I can see it. You say, no, I think it is a rope. Now, if you put on the light, immediately that person will drop. In the same way, when the attention gets enlightened by the Spirit, the first nature, innate nature of the Spirit is that it manifests absolute truth. You immediately become so empowered that you give up all those habits which are destructive to your life. Immediately. I've seen people giving up drugs overnight in London. Alcoholism, all kinds of things. I was amazed the way it's working. It's your own power within you. It's just there. It's existing. There's no obligation of any kind. It's just one enlightened candle can enlighten another candle. That's how it works. Every religion has said that you seek yourself. So there was nothing wrong with all the prophets, incarnations, all the saints. They all said the same thing. But we have missed the point. Everything has become either money-oriented or is an intellectual probing. It is through intellectual probing you reach a point where you realize that you have not reached the reality. So what should we do? And this is a very great gift of modern times, which was promised long time back. It's described already in our Puranas that at the time, these modern times called as Kali Yuga, the Parama Chaitanya or this all-pervading power will become active. Means there is Kruta Yuga, it will become active. And through it, thousands of people will get their realization. Even in the Bible, they have said that it's quite a limited number. John has written in his Revelation, it's quite a limited number, but we have already crossed that. And so many people have to become realized souls. It's very important today, and it's so easy. Sahaja. Saha is with, Ja is born. Born with you is the right to become one with the divine, united with the divine, that is yoga. Yoga is nothing but to be united with that divine power. That's what yoga is. All other things are subsidiary. This union brings forth new dimensions on our central nervous system. As an evolution, we always develop a new dimension. By this, you develop a new awareness of collective consciousness, by which you can feel other people, their centers. Sitting down here, you can feel the center of somebody who is dead. Even you can feel his centers and find out what he was. Was he a realized soul or not? You can find out about anybody, whether he was a realized soul or not, sitting down here. You have to just think about it, put your hands. If you are a realized soul, you can feel on your fingertips what is the problem. And somehow if you know how to correct those problems, you get rid of your own diseases and the diseases of others, your own problems and the problems of others. First you enter into a state of mind which we call as thoughtless awareness. When you cross this center of agya, that is placed in the optic chiasma, you become thoughtlessly aware. You are aware, but there is no thought. What a blessing it is.